Hey guys, welcome back to another Zchronics video. Today we're diving back into one of the most anticipated games of the year, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. But let's see how it stacks up against other legendary Dragon Ball games that came before it. We're going to compare Sparking Zero to some of the most iconic titles in the franchise and see how it measures up. To begin with, let's start with the visuals. Dragon Ball games have come a long way since the early days, and Sparking Zero is no exception. The graphical leap from Tenkaichi 3 to Fighter Z was huge. But how does Sparking Zero compare? We'll take a close look at character models, animation quality, and the overall aesthetic to see where it stands. Dragon Ball FighterZ introduced a new depth of quality and animation to Dragon Ball fighting games. Dragon Ball Xenoverse had great animations, but nothing like Dragon Ball FighterZ. Dragon Ball FighterZ 2D style and hand-drawn animations were legendary and revolutionized the fighting game anime space. To this day, it's proclaimed as one of the best, if not the best, anime fighting game out there. The animations have a huge part to play in that. Sparking Zero's animations hold up quite well. They can't exactly be compared to Dragon Ball FighterZ due to the 3D, 2D comparisons. Fighter Z as a 2D game is easier to model and easier to animate, whereas a 3D game can be quite janky and we can see the models look quite unorthodox or unusual in certain angles. But compared to previous 3D games such as Xenoverse 2, Sparking Zero has come a long way and looks absolutely stunning in comparison. Next up is the combat system. Each Dragon Ball game has brought something unique to the table, from the 3D arenas of Budokai Tenkaichi to the intricate fighting mechanisms of Fighter Z. How does Sparking Zero's combat compare? Well, it's a refined version of the past systems from the Budokai Tenkaichi games. So far, from what we know, it includes most of the mechanics from the OG Budokai Tenkaichi games, with a few tweaks here and there. For example, the mechanic of slapping the Ki Blast away isn't an orthodox Budokai Tenkaichi feature, but it's from the Raging Blast games, where you can slap the Ki Blast away if you have enough Ki. Features like perhaps the Fusion Dance, Potara, transformations, all of those basic features and combos all derive from OG Budokai Tenkaichi games, so we all know what we're going into. Moving on, story mode and content. One of the biggest draws of any Dragon Ball game is the story mode. Whether it's reliving the classic sagas or exploring new storylines, maybe even what ifs, this feature can make or break a Dragon Ball game. We'll compare Sparking Zero's approach to story content with past games like Xenoverse 2 and Budokai Tenkaichi 3 and discuss what fans might expect. So far we know that there is an official story mode in the game. The game goes through all of the sagas in the Dragon Ball series, as well as what ifs that branch from the original timeline. What ifs are also taken from the old Budokai Tenkaichi games, as well as the Budokai games. These features in those old games have been essential to enhance the player's experience and branch out a bunch of creative new ideas while continuing the game's playability. Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 had these hypotheticals as well, but they weren't necessarily called what ifs, and they were more just story for their original character protagonist. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is different, but it's very similar to the OG Budokai Tenkaichi games. However, there is one new crucial feature, which is that you can make your own unique fights and storylines from the create your own story mode. This mode allows a lot of playability and content to come from it, and it's quite new, and no Dragon Ball game has, in recent memory, come close to replicating that. The feature is a lot like Mario Maker 2, where you create maps and you just try them or you test them out or let other people try them. I'm pretty sure the feature works in a way where you can create a map, you can create a fight, and you can share it with people to try out your challenging fights and see if they can take it on. Finally, let's talk about the overall experience. What makes a Dragon Ball game truly great? Is it the fighting mechanics? Is it the story mode? Well, we'll discuss how Sparking Zero might stack up in terms of replayability, fan service, and overall fun factor compared to its predecessors. Is it set to become the new king of Dragon Ball games? Let's find out. The Sparking Zero has create your own fight mode, which allows a huge depth of replayability, including a what if series, which also allows players to replay the game to experience that unique storyline yet again. The fan surveys can also be considered into the replayability, where we have create your own fight, as well as the what ifs, which is highly demanded by fans and something that they did not have to include, but they included just for the fans. Overall, I believe it's going to be one of the most fun games in recent history, even more fun than Xenoverse and Dragon Ball FighterZ, mostly due to all the features and all the time and effort the developers have put into the game. The game has probably been in development for over 4 years now, and we're all excited to get our hands on it. So, that's our comparison between Sparking Zero and some of the most iconic Dragon Ball games. What do you think? Is Sparking Zero living up to the hype? Let me know your thoughts in the comment below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like, subscribe button, and the notification bell so you never miss out on the latest Dragon Ball content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.